To light a small city. That energy, along with talent and fierce determination, has kept the Scottish rock singer high on the Billboard charts for nearly 10 years. She was born Sheena Shirley Orr in a small town outside Glasgow. And by the time she was 19, her records were being played all over the world.
I wake up every morning, stumble out of bed, stretching and yawning, another day ahead.
Her first hit was Morning Train in 1981. Back then, her soft pop vocals made you think of the girl next door. Today, the girl next door has moved away, and what's emerged is a tougher, more polished performer who knows how important it is to keep up with the times.
Hopefully over 10 years I've changed. I hope so, because if not, it means we're stagnant as people if we don't change. When I first started in the business, I was just going on 20, and now I'm just going on 30. So I was more of a girl then, and I'm a little bit more of a woman now, and I think that's reflected in my style and my attitudes. Plus, I get pure and simple, I get bored. What can I tell you? My hair, I dye it black, I dye it red, I cut it short, I grow it, I add fake pieces into it. Unfortunately, if you're in the music business, when you buy a new dress and when you change your hair, I'm just changing my hair and buying a new dress, but it's called a change of image. And I'm supposed to sound intelligent about why I've done it. And the truth is I get bored. So I look different. When I get bored with that, I look different again. There's nothing intelligent about it.
When did you know that you had musical talent? Do you recall the first time you realized that?
I must have been about 3 or 4. I mean, it was no big thing. I guess I was shoved in front of an entire group of people, you know, listen to Sheena, she can sing for them, just like, you know, every family does when they've got a kid that can tap dance or juggle or something like that. I could sing, so they had me sing early one morning, just as the sun was rising, at my Aunt Mary's silver wedding anniversary party. And it seemed like there was millions of people there. There must have been about 60 people there. And, of course, I got applause and attention, and every kid loves attention. And I don't think I've changed much when it comes to that, because I think every performer is basically an attention seeker. I mean, that's what we're doing. We're standing on stage going, look at me. So I think that's when my attention-seeking days began. I was corrupted at 3 years old by applause. Yeah.
And it must have felt awfully good, but it also was a long road from a small town in Scotland to where you are now.
Yeah, but I was real lucky that I got my breaks very quickly. I can't sit around and bemoan the horrible dark days of, 10 years struggling before I made it big. I was really, really lucky that my first single was a #1 single. So you can't get it any easier than that. No.
When you started out, you had some success right away. But then, as in life, there was that inevitable dip. How did you handle that?
You just kind of grit your teeth and go, oh, please, God, it's too soon. Don't take it all away from me. I couldn't stand it. And I think that's when you reach into that little inner core of strength that gave you the guts to ever get up on your first stage and sing. Because I think that takes more courage than anything we do after that. The first time you stand up there and take a deep breath and go, okay, I'm going to sing. I hope you like it. Once you get the guts to do that, then I think you can always continue on, because they could have fallen over and left.
The record business is so fickle, and it's so trendy. Do you worry about that? Do you watch your records closely to see how they do?
Yes, I'm paranoid. Of course I am. We all are. I mean, I'd be a liar to say, no problem. No, I am an avid statistics watcher. Like every statistic, I watch it and I look at trends. But I do that once the record is out. I make a point of not doing that when I'm creating an album, because then you're chasing your own tail. You're going around in circles and you end up with nothing. Because it takes 9 months to a year to record an album, and during that process, 5 or 6 different styles have come and gone. So you have to just record the music that's right for you, put it out there, cross your fingers, say lots of prayers, and hope that the public will like it and the fates will be kind and you'll have a hit. And when I don't have a hit, I think that's it. I'm never going to have another one again as long as I live. and I get depressed for about a day and a half. And then I go, this is ridiculous. What am I going to do? You know, sell shoes or something? I mean, this is my job. This is what I do for a living. This is what's in my heart and soul. So I say, so I'll make another record. And luckily for me, thank you God, after I've ever had, like, one that comes out and dies a horrible death, usually the next one's a success.
Part of the key to Sheena's success is versatility. She can go from sweet to steamy in a downbeat and have her audience yelling for more. In 1985, that willingness to take musical risks brought her to the attention of the U.S. Congress when her single, Sugar Walls, was called pornographic by a citizens group named the Parents Musical Resource Center.
It was actually set up by a group of senators' wives from Washington.
Tipper Gore, right?
Yeah, she headed it. Big fan of mine, Tipper. She loves me.
And she didn't like the song, did she?
I'm sure. Hey, listen, we know. She danced to that a lot. Trust me. She's got all my albums. She listens to them backwards just in case there's any message on them, you know. She plays them like this. Her needles are shot to pieces on her record player, but she plays them a lot. Anyway, at that time, there was this self-appointed watchdog of the morals of the youth of America. To cut a very long story short, they decided that rock and roll was the reason for the downfall of this country, and we were corrupting the youth of America by singing too adult lyrics for kids, and that we should be censored, and that there should be a rating system, and you should be over 18 to be able to buy certain albums, and so on and so on. And when this was brought to light, the public themselves rejected it. It was taken to a committee, and everyone went, it's unconstitutional. And basically what people said, what I've always said and definitely feel, is that censorship should be your own censorship. An adult should decide what you want to listen to. It's real simple. You hear something on the radio you don't like, change the channel. You don't want to listen to an artist, don't buy the album. And luckily the self-appointed watchdogs had to go back into their kennels, and we're our own watchdogs for our own taste. And it was a bit silly. I mean, when you get down to it, it's rock and roll. You know, it's not pornography. There's a big difference between an erotic love scene in a movie and an explicit triple X rated film. Same thing with rock and roll lyrics.
You impress me so much as being someone who is very strong. Very strong. You guide yourself, you take advice, but not from everybody or anybody, just anybody.
Mm.
What are you weak about?
Oh, I have many frailties. It's very... See, my friends would be able to tell you what I'm weak about. My friends could tell you my vulnerability. I'm very open. I'm a big, like, open, soft sponge with my real close, intimate friends. But when I'm in a situation like this, you know, I'm doing an interview and I'm very aware that there's a camera here and the whole world is listening to me. So I'm very open, and my guard is down with my good friends, but I think to the general public I do have a little bit of a guard up just to protect myself. I try not to have a steel wall around me. I don't think that's attractive in any sense.
How does a single woman traveling, touring like you do, manage to have any kind of a social life?
Very nicely, thank you.
Do you? Is there someone special in your life?
Oh, I never talk about that. Mm-mm. I keep my relationships very private because there's very little of my life that is private, and I like to hold on to something. And I think that the relationships thrive much more if they're conducted quietly and intimately and not discussed and talked about. And also I feel that it's very unfair to the man that his private life is discussed. I don't think it's fair to do that to somebody else.
Tell me about the word chocolate. What does that word conjure up for you?
Forbidden fantasies and delight. Those are the things that get me crazy. Chocolate is definitely one of my vices, yes. It's just as well that I'm a very fit and healthy person. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to indulge myself. But actually, I don't eat a lot of chocolate. I think about it a lot. I talk about it a lot. I look at it.
Now, some people say that chocolate is kind kind of a substitute for love or affection or something like that.
I've heard that. I like my chocolate with my man at the same time. You know, I don't like it as a substitute. If a man comes with a box of candy, he's got one foot in the door, you know. Yeah, I've heard it's something to do with the chemicals that it releases in the brain. I don't know, I just like the taste.
You're not going to analyze it any farther than that. With a hot new album climbing the charts and film and TV offers to consider, Sheena isn't doing much analyzing these days. And anyway, she seems to have figured out the secret to personal success: following your own instincts, come what may.
Unfortunately, if you're in a performance business, everyone gives you advice. The world, taxi drivers, people, and you know, that you go in and buy flowers from. Listen, you should sing Whitney Houston songs next time. There's always somebody who wants you to change what you're doing, and you can get crazy. So you have to very early on learn to gracefully accept it and smile and say thank you and then ignore it. And nobody ever makes decisions for me. How can they? If it's my decision, how can they make it? I am advised and I take advice and I will change my mind. If someone sits me down and gives me an opinion or fills me in on the facts or knows something more than I do, then I'll completely change my mind or change a course of action or do something that I go, ooh, I'm not so sure, but I trust you, so I'll go with it. But no one can tell me what to do. No one can tell me how to be. No.
Sheena credits her mom with instilling in her the kind of spirit that's kept her going through the ups and downs of a career in the music business. As her mother always told her, if you always put 100% into what you do, then no matter what happens, you can be happy at the end of the day. We'll be right back.
Next week's Public People, next.